So with the introduction, I wanted to also touch upon my interest in literature that started when I was young, as my MC said, as a young kid growing up in a rather cultural environment. And so my parents, especially my mom, who used to write and read poetry all the time, so my writing shaped since then. But again, being surrounded by sometimes unfortunate events, such as the political environment in which you grow, kind of gives you a different perspective on things. And also being a woman, that also added to the challenges that I had to go through, whether as a writer or as a person growing and trying just to be a normal, human being. Now in Canada, so I didn't stop writing. I kept writing and reading poetry all my life. But it kind of took a different turn now that you're in a rather stable and civilized or more advanced country, but you still look back on your previous experiences and those of people that come, whether here as your friends, colleagues, people that you meet in the street. So you never stop wondering and thinking about where these people come from and what their journeys have been. Today's poem, the one that I chose to present to you, comes from a collection that I started writing in 1996, and it kept growing and growing. The reason 1996 is back when I was still in Iraq, we had gone through very extreme political changes and issues that triggered a lot of emotions in me. I was once in my life a displaced person, and I lost everything. I was in a place surrounded by strangers. There were no male presence in my life, just myself and my mom and my younger sister. We had to defend ourselves. We had to be going through a lot. We had to pretend and lie and cross rivers and sleep in the open. I didn't eat for 2 days. I was barefoot. So I've been through a lot of experiences that many other people have gone through. So ever since then, I started this, which I love to have it one day completed as my epic. I call it an epic because it also describes a lot of these stories and journeys. Tonight, my Lord, the story shall not be of love or birds and heroic deeds. Tonight, my Lord, of war I speak, for mighty Mars deserves command. In land of toys and milk and anguished souls, his reign extends. He feeds on hate, divide permeates. He bathes in tears of moms bereaved. His color red on every street, and tombs are dwellings where livings meet. To sainthood rise his fellow clan, and those avert are heaven bound. The holy march of mocked breed should rid the land of wicked seed. Knowledge, compassion, love, and peace. Slow down, my queen. I want to be informed. Narrate some more on Mars' heroic deeds. My Lord, one day, in land of joy he marched. Adieu. There was a girl. She nodded 6 in her life thread. With cheers and laughters marked in heaven, yet humming sounds her candles blew. The berries white, her favorite ones, in red had turned, and the cuckoo never sang of happy morn. To mark their deed, his saints then hailed, and those alive in groups they hailed. On souls corrupt, a game they diced, to win the praise of their command. No harm was done, then peace prevailed. And hence, my Lord, Mars conquers where he treads, where men can die for word of right, where lust and greed subdue with might, where skin and faith determine your own fate. With this, my Lord, I prithee hold my reed. Sleep well and dream of love and birds and heroic deeds. Thank you. Thank you so much. Seems endless. Look around you, everywhere in the world, there are wars and people are fighting. And sometimes it could be just this trivial reason. So people go on and on and on without knowing what's going on, and they just get away from the actual deeper, reasons for their being. So in her story, in the one that I just put, she decided to deviate from the regular everyday story, and this time she said, I'm going to talk about war for you, because that's what we have every day. So she's a modern kind of woman now. And then for her, she represents war in the image of Mars. So Mars is simply the god of war in the Roman mythology. So he is also represented as being the god of war, in addition to being also sometimes, which is funny, the god of agriculture. So he's also in charge of life versus death. However, if you read Greek mythology and Roman mythology, you realize that Mars was very lustful for blood and power. He loves to see people die or go in war. So that's where you can tell that everywhere he goes, I try to avoid, that's how a lot of writers do it. They try to avoid using very expressive words of death and casualties and kind of the mortal aspect of it by using very simple ideas. So when I say the streets are red, that's very clear why the streets are red. When I talk about the white berries, that they turned red, again, it's just very obvious for what kind of reasons these would turn red. So a lot of imagery, but sometimes for a lot of people, they would, including myself, I would love to use it in a simple everyday use, but to give you that deeper meaning behind. When Jesus Christ was, in the process of being crucified, the followers, or those people, the soldiers, they actually had the last dinner, and they drank, and they played a dice before they actually crucified him. So there is this biblical reference for the actual, killing of people, but I try not to use it in a very straight, direct way.
Nice.